According to the Bible, Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham and Japheth. Eurocentrists have illogically tried to portray these children as people of varying races in a bid to promote racial superiority on their part. Because Shem has a birthright, heritage and descendants like the Israelites who have an ordained priesthood to God, whites have tried to portray themselves and other non-black groups as Shemites. Also because a curse was cast upon one of Ham's children by Noah, whites have tried to portray blacks as Hamites that are to use their superior physique and plenteous resources to serve whites and other non-black groups. Sadly, this sophistry has been misconstrued as truth by many. In reality, Shem, Ham and Japheth were of one race in the way siblings ought to be. If common sense does not tell that the founders of the human race were blacks, then science, anthropology and genetics do. There were no whites or any other race, but blacks in the genesis of mankind and for thousands of years after that. Thus, it is important to forget the false images of Shemites as whites in order for this article to be understood objectively. On that note, the Hebrew people mentioned here are the blacks who actually lived in the region between Africa and the Mediterranean, Eden, not the whites who call themselves Jews today and are incapable of relating to the similarities that will be pointed out in this article between Shemitic and Bantu or Southern Hamitic languages. The Hebrew spoken about here is Biblical Hebrew and not modern Hebrew, which is actually Yiddish and incorporates a lot of German and other European words, pronunciation and grammar, which was unknown to the Biblical Hebrews. Ish is ancient Hebrew for prince. The ancient meaning is almost identical to the Shona word Ish, which stands for Lord. In contemporary Hebrew, Ish is the word for man and Isha for woman, and their origins are from the ancient word royalty. The name Israel, Israel, which was given to Jacob, a key Hebrew patriarch, literally means prince of to God. Clear to any Shona speaker that even the word Ra in ancient Hebrew, which meant to or of, is identical in form and used to the word Ra in Shona. Ra indicates the possessor just as Wa, Cha and Yu in Shona. In contemporary Hebrew, Ra is now pronounced as La, but retaining the same meaning. The interchangeability of R and L is a common Bantu language feat, which can be found among languages like Shona, Ndebele and Chiwa. In Chiwa, the name Lamulungu means belonging to God and is given to the Sabbath day. In the Remba tongue, this name is pronounced as Ramulungu. This interchange can also be found in the names Mulungu and Murungu, which both mean Lord and not whiteman as many now wrongly assume. The word predated the coming of whites, and prior to their arrival, Murungu was used to refer to black groups such as the Remba. This was because of their priesthood, skills and craftsmanship, which contributed to a southern African renaissance after they entered the land from Sina in southern Arabia. This was during the Moorish period between 700 C and 1300 C. The whites were called Virungu because after their settling in the land, our criterion and style of civilization became Western-oriented. Whites were therefore called lords because they were the new trendsetters and their religion, clothing, education and so on would overtake that of the indigenous people and challenge traditional systems. Another word which has completely Shemitic roots is Mwari, Mwali or Mwali. This word means God, but not in the sense of a god which can even be attributed to a mere object. It means the God and has a strong monotheistic appeal. In Hebrew, the word for God is El An Eli, means my God. In Arabic, which is a close relative to Hebrew and is likewise Shemitic, the word for God is Ialet. To stress that the God in question was the creator and not an idolized object, the descendants of Ishmael, son of Abraham and uncle of Jacob Israel, combined the words Al meaning the and Ilah meaning God to give us the name Allah meaning the one God. It is this same process that took place in southern Africa to give us the name Wari, which is attributed only to the creator and enjoys the same monotheistic appeal as Allah. The MW is therefore equivalent to Al, the, and Ari to El or Ilat, God, in Arabic and Hebrew, meaning the one who is or living God in Shona. Layla means nighttime in Hebrew. It is similar to Rara or Lala, which means sleep in Shona and Ndebele respectively. Similarly, Boker means morning and is similar to Muka or Vuka, which means wake up in the above-named Bantu languages. These similarities can be used by Bantu language group speakers as pneumatic devices to effectively learn Hebrew. The phrase let there be, as in let there be light, is spoken as Ihi in Hebrew. This is identical to the Kaikoranga Ihi or Kaizazuruinzi, which translates to let it be called. The Hebrew word for me or I is Ani. This is almost identical to Aini, which means me or I in Shona. Ani also exists in Shona, meaning who. The Hebrew name for darkness is Yusik, which is similar to the Shona word for nighttime, Yusiku. In the house of Israel, the name Jacob was derived from Yakuba, which literally means hand, on heel, cub. Jacob had an older twin, Esau, who he came out of the womb after and was firmly gripping his elder's heel. After Jacob won over Esau's birthright and blessing, the word Yakuba was used by Israelites to mean steal or supplant. In Shona, the word for steal is kuba, and this is a very interesting linguistic and cultural connection. The Hebrew name for mankind is Adam. The word Adam means humans to this day and was derived from the Hebrew word for soil, Adama. The word Dima, which is Shona for dark and is used to describe the complexion of blacks. Dima may very well have been derived from Adama, the Hebrew word for soil. Besides a black-brown color that is assumed when water touches the earth to form mud, the soil also has a reddish color. From this same word, Adama, the Hebrew people derived the word Edom, which means red. Thus, it is not far-fetched at all to think that the word Dima, dark black, has like origins. Besides this, there is also the Son of Man and Son of God concept that is shared among the Hebrew and mentioned earlier. The word Adam is equivalent to the word Bantu, Vanhu. In ancient Hebrew philosophy, only righteous people with humaneness were considered children of Adam, mankind, or God. This is similar to the Munhu Munhu Nahunhu, one is considered human through humaneness concept, which made way for such phrases as Mwana Wavanhu, son of man, or Mwana Wamwari, son of God. Even among the Hebrew Israelites, only the descendants of Abraham, who followed his covenants, were considered his children.